and the icon there. There's Samantha. What's going on?
Hey, how's it going, Kenny?
I'm good, and here we are.
I
Doing
am. Happy holidays to everyone.
happy holidays to you as well, and here we are doing this again for the second week in a row, nonetheless.
It's awesome. Can
Uh,
never get enough.
and just want to give her again shout out to Fairly Style Mother, who was unable to join us. I did get a DM for her as I was checking into my Twitter account just to make sure that she even responded, and she did. She got called into work, so she won't be able to call in this evening. But
Wah, wah, wah. Right?
it happens. It
Aw.
happens to us all, and
Yep.
especially in the holidays when people are needed a lot. Um, but hey, you gotta get that money. So
Yep. Yep.
I'm not
I hear ya.
so if I was in her position, I would have said I love to, but duty calls, and I got to get this money. American, Canadian, don't.
Monopoly money.
Yeah, yeah. So go and get that money, fairy style mother, and you definitely have a spot waiting for you in 2015 for sure, January to be exact. And you know what? I'm just gonna go ahead and announce the first guest now confirmed for 2015, and you actually recommend this person to be on the show,
Oh yes, I sure.
and she is pretty much started promoted it already. Her name is Laura Madsen.
Yeah,
No,
Lord.
no, she is known as a blogger. She is known for her Lady in Red blogs, if you will. And she's for what she told me, she's very excited to be on the show.
Oh, she's an awesome
So,
lady. You'll really enjoy having her on, Kenny.
January the 3rd, 2015. That is the first show of the new year. First show of 2015, and she is the first guest of the show. So tune in January 3rd, 2015. Laura Madsen, the lady in red, make her presence felt here on Chillin'. So Samantha, I gotta ask you, as we are now just 5 days away from Christmas, have you got your Christmas shopping done? You got
Oh, I
anything?
had my Christmas with my family today. It was called Anti-Christmas.
Oh, is
It
that
was
right?
awesome. I had the blast. No, I'm done Christmas. I'm not even celebrating on Christmas. We did a whole thing today. So we got it out of the way. We had a family get together. It's all about being with family. It really doesn't matter what day you celebrate it on, be honest. So,
Okay, that's understandable.
yep, yep.
Yeah.
That's what I did
Do
today.
you want, in other words, you wanted to do something a little different,
Oh, for sure.
Yes.
Definitely.
So every time I do the quote unquote last show of the year, I like to, recap. I like to look back. I like to, you know, take a look back at the top entertainment stories from music to movies to celebrities, the good, the bad, the ugly. And that's just, an hour of this show will not be enough to discuss all that had happened. But I'm going to do my best to get into at least some of the notable stories. Now, I want to get into, aside for the celebrity stuff, obviously one of the big stories is a illness that pretty much took over the news and the airwaves. It's called Ebola. I never heard of such a thing until it was start to being n- discussed, if you will. And to this day, I still don't know all the info on it, on what causes it, what could be uh, the effects, if you will, whatever the case may be. But over the last few weeks, Ebola talk has been died down a little bit. There is no cure for it. It is something that all of us, whether we realize or not, needs to be informed, needs to be, keep in mind. And I mean, what is your take on this whole Ebola thing, and how do you feel about it, and especially considered all the talk has died down since then?
Well, because people aren't, the media isn't being paid to talk about it.
Yeah.
I think that has a lot to do with it. It's alive and well out there, unfortunately. People got to remember bacteria lives up to 7 days, kiddies. And if you don't sanitize, clean, cross-contaminate, when you're working with meat or you're working with the public, always wash your hands. There's different things why Ebola evolved and how did it get here, right? It took a little boat. It took a trip across the ocean. Unfortunately, and it hopped on, and it's going for a ride. So, but you know what? With the Canadian healthcare industry or medical industry, they have specific hospitals actually quarantined for people who have Ebola. So it's very different. It's unfortunate this has to happen this way. One thing I want to talk about is medical etiquette. When you go to a restaurant and you say, don't chew with your mouth open, don't go to a medical clinic and say, oh, I have Ebola. Like they talk about it, it's like a common cold. Like people are really disrespectful and inconsiderate to others around them. It's unbelievable,
Right.
Just saying, just putting it out there.
Yeah. Don't state the obvious, especially when this is very contagious, and if you're near it, you're gonna end up with it as well, and obviously there's no cure for it, and people doing all they can to find out a cure for it. I look at it as cancer. I look at it as AIDS. Like it's gonna take a long time to figure out somewhat of a cure, and people can donate all they want, but this disease ain't going anywhere. It's just that the discussion about it has kind of died down, and who knows when the next person may be affected by it. So that's enough of Ebola talk.
But it's just saying you're basically trying to, shout out to everyone, please be careful and have a happy and healthy holiday. pretty much, you know what I mean?
Pretty much, and
happiness, hugs, and
yes,
and all that. But I totally hear where you're coming from. So
yes, and you brought up some great input. Please, and we are all guilty of this, but wash your hands, sanitize, make sure your hygiene is good. Not just for your friends and family, but more importantly for yourself.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much all you need to know in that regard. Another, I want to get into some devastating passings in the entertainment world. Joan Rivers passed away. Robin Williams passed away. I mean, Robin Williams stood out to me the most because from the talk and everything, depression played a huge role of his unfortunate death. And I mentioned this on the show and in the past, and I'll mention it again. I dealt with depression. Not to the extreme that Robin has, but I dealt with depression thinking times are rough or things going to get better for me. And it just comes to show you that if you are dealing with depression, and it doesn't have to be extreme that Robin has, but if you're dealing depression, feeling down about yourself, ask for help. There are people in this world that cares for you, family, friends. You don't have to deal with depression alone. There are some things that we can handle, and there's some things you can't. And depression, that's a battle at itself. And if you keep thinking you're gonna battle it yourself, you're gonna be in a war of trouble, and it's just I don't know. He lived a good life. He had a pretty good career as an actor, as a comedian. Mrs. Doubtfire. I mean, all the movies he has done over the course of his career. He was a talented actor, and he's been very quiet. And I wasn't really aware of this until, this depression thing until he died. And I don't know. He lived. I guess he was very private, living his life, and it's just devastating. It stood out to me because here's a guy who's accomplished a lot, and all of a sudden he's gone because maybe he could have asked for help, or I don't know. I don't know if he reached out to help, or maybe his family or friends didn't do much enough. I don't know all of that, but we do know the cause of his death, and that it's an eye opener, and people need to be informed. Ask for help, reach out. Just don't think you can handle things on your own. And it's tough to fathom that maybe things could have be differently if he would have asked for help, or at least, or people could have done better of helping him. I'm not trying to blame it on one person or whatever, but it's just a matter of what could have happened, I guess. Rest in peace to Robin Williams. Rest in peace to Joan Rivers. Rest in peace to all those that were affected this year. And you know what? I got some good news. Cause that was a sad. This show is gonna be all over the place. So I'm sorry in advance, Samantha.
No, that's fine. Be yourself, man. Talk about that. I mean, it's good to remember the people who were good to us in either entertainment or comedy or whatever, because those are the people who make our lives interesting. Those are the people who make our lives and our minds and our bodies happy. We're always happy when we see Robin Williams. I've liked him since, was it Mork? No. Mork and Mindy, that's it.
Yes.
Nanu. That was my favorite, so.
Yes. And just an incredible talent, and just I like this work. He was fun to watch for sure. Another story I want to get into, as this it's gonna be all over the place. I want to give a shout out to a couple of people. To Andrew, who's under the name Browning Bastard, and it does say Bastard, but spelled B-A-S-T-I-D. And I want to apologize. My friend Andrew, he's a friend of Jeff here, who's a co-host, and he's not here, but he has a show once upon a time called The Rap Bastard Show. So Andrew took it upon himself to name himself Browning Bastard. So my friend has influenced him, and I gotta for future references, if my friends were to listen to his show, do not call yourself Bastard, or or name yourself Bastard. Okay, he got my friend Andrew, but he ain't gonna get the rest of my friends. I'll leave it at that. But that's here no there. My cousin Dexter is here for Georgia, and we got a first time listener here, Antizium. I hope I pronounced your name right. Thank you for joining us this evening for the year in review. Samantha, who was on the show last week, do you have any plans for New Year's Eve, New Year's Day? Waiting for the ball to drop? Are you into that type of stuff, or is it just like Christmas? You just maybe you're gonna celebrate 2015 early, kind of like Christmas.
No. I do promotion for some clubs in the city, so I'm probably going to do video and photography. That's probably what's going to happen there, or body painting. So I don't know, just going with the flow. Sometimes it's nice just to chill at home and watch movies and enjoy, companies with the ones you love. So I'm just taking it for day by day. So I don't know, probably just promotion for the club. So
Yeah, for once, Samantha, I want a memorable New Year's Eve or moment. And what I mean by that is getting out the house, go to a party or a club,
yeah,
spend time with some friends, and then when the ball drops, then get all excited. And I do want to point out I am drug free. I don't smoke. I don't
either.
drink. And you can party without drinking and smoking. And I'm one of those people. And I'm proud of that. I'm straight edge to the core. I just want a memorable moment when I could be like, wow, I was with my friends and family out the house and we celebrated, to the ball drop. Instead, like every year for a very long time, I sit at home and I watch countdowns of music videos and watch the ball drop from TV. And there's nothing wrong watching the ball drop. Sometimes you just rather it being outside the house with family and friends. Now, some friends tend to party. Some family likes to just stay home. And whatever they want to do, more power to them. But for once, I want a memorable New Year's moment. That is something I would love to do at least one time in my life. But because of my current job situation, I may not be able to, at least not this year. Uh, they got me working crazy, Samantha. I've now worked 20 straight days.
Oh my goodness, that's
20,
so wrong.
yeah.
That's crazy.
So, and I'm going to be working, let's see, by December 23rd, I would have worked, let's see, 23 straight days. And
Wow.
I will be off on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day.
Oh, that's good.
So that's the good news. The bad news, this is when hypocrisy comes into play. So what had happened was, is that there was talks of whether the 26th, day after Christmas, was going to be a day off of work. So they were looking for volunteers. And I was the one of them that was asked to voluntarily work on this 26th. I respectfully said no, but in my mind I said hell no. Okay,
Oh yeah, I hear
and
ya.
and majority of the workers said no. So once all answers were made clear on that, the supervisor decided that that day is gonna be mandatory. Uh, but fortunately for me, I have what is called occurrences. I can take a day off or I can take half a day off. As long as I don't go over the occurrences, I'll be okay. The thing with me is, ever since I started this job, I have yet to take a day off. Meaning, every mandatory day, I've worked every single mandatory day. The only days I don't work is voluntary, inventory, and holidays. But every other mandatory day I showed up. And the good news, I posted it on Facebook this past week, is that I'm about to be full-time on this particular job real soon.
You know
So,
what they say, Kenny? It rains, it pours. When it's pouring, the work is there, and when it's not, it's not. I
hmm
totally understand. And this time of year, I don't know what kind of job you work, but when the hours are there, they say take it, but it's
mm,
hard. I totally understand. When
mm,
you have no time off,
no,
that's even harder.
no, and
You know?
I don't care who you are. I don't care how good of a worker you are. When you work for nearly 3 weeks straight, fatigue is gonna come into play, and the complaints are gonna get even louder. So I try to be level-headed. I try to be positive. Like, okay, I'm employed. I'm getting this money. Everything is all nice, and but having some time off would really help a brother out, if you know what I mean.
Yep.
And Andrew says he has a question for you. Go ahead and ask the question. Go ahead and post it in the chat if you can, Andrew. Uh, as far as what does this particular show have in store for 2015, throughout the years we've interviewed models, we've interviewed actors, actresses, um, uh, entrepreneurs, we've interviewed just about any sort of entertainer that you probably could think of. So we're going to continue to expand. We're going to continue to evolve. And you was talking about the conventions last week, and I plan to attend 3 conventions this next year. The first one is Lexington Tour and Comic Convention. That's coming up in March, and it's an emerging convention in the Lexington, Kentucky area. Usually the toy industry, the comic industry, Power Rangers. If you are a Power Ranger fan back in the 1990s, you're going to want to be there. They got some wrestlers there. They got a variety of people. Oh, and by the way, have you heard of a TV show called The Walking Dead? I know a lot of people have. I heard of the show, but I never watched it. And for those who have, the cast of that particular show is going to be in Lexington for the next convention I'm planning to go into. It's called the Kentucky Cosplay and Comic Con, and that is for the that's more of a for all those people out there that likes to dress up and superheroes and action figures, if you will. So that's coming up in April, and then the third convention is for the horror and paranormal people out there. Scarefest. That's coming up in September. I plan to attend there as well. And my friend Andrew wants to know your favorite NFL team. Would you more of a Canadian Football League viewer? So
Sometimes.
yeah,
Sometimes.
yeah.
It depends on the mood, right? I don't have cable, I have Netflix. So I'd have to go on the internet and watch any football. I'm a fan of all sports. So like if a game is good and, National Football League, I really don't watch football a lot. I'll be honest, it's like not really on my plate of entertainment. If someone invited me out to go to a game, I'd go and sit and watch a Jets game or something. Not for football, but for hockey or something. I don't know. It depends on my mood. Like, I'm up for watching any sports. I'm not like gonna go one is my favorite or another. I'm pretty open to anything. Why do you ask?
Okay.
Just a conversation topic, I guess.
Yeah, I guess. Look, when you in Canada, I guess you supposed to be into hockey. I guess that's something that you. Am I right about that? Once you are a Canadian native, is that something that you supposed?
That's stereotyping.
Oh, that's okay. I was just curious.
Like Tim Hortons, right? Because Tim Hortons in Canada, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. I'm really open to anything. Like I'll watch football from any spectrum of the earth, for sure. Especially if someone asks me, "Oh, you're gonna get body paint somebody an Eagles fan from a football league, or you're gonna make them up in the jersey and the worst." I'm not gonna argue that, So better get those colors right, as they say.
Yeah, yes. Again, I'm joined with Samantha WPG right here on Chillin's Year-End Review Show. Coming up in a few minutes, I have my next guest, Hybrid the Rapper, coming straight out of Frankfurt. So I'm very excited to interview a local talent out here. And Samantha, please check out her work. Check out the Twitter at Samantha WPG. and you pointed out it's you representing your city, Winnipeg.
Yeah,
Uh,
for
so
sure.
Winnipeg is in the building. When you think of Canada, I guess I think mostly Toronto. I think of Ontario, and now I know Winnipeg.
There you go.
And I visit. Uh, I think I visit Canada twice before. I visit Toronto, and I visit. I don't know if you can consider this. In Canada, I was in Vancouver. I visited.
Oh, that's Canada for
Yes,
sure.
okay.
Oh, yes, Vancouver is
Just
Canadian.
I wanna thank you for the clarification. I visited there
Welcome.
before. I visited there before because I have family that's in the Seattle, Washington area, and they travel there from time to time. So we
Nice.
checked that out. That was only 2 times in my life I've been outside of the United States, and
Okay.
Toronto is a big city, and I enjoyed the experience there, for sure. And Samantha, thank you so much for joining me yet again for the second week in a row.
No
And
problem.
you have been awesome. You've been quite the co-host, and I enjoy your company. And yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and say I enjoy hearing you laugh as well.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah,
Yahoo!
yeah. See, that made me happy right there.
Good. Awesome.
So please, if you want to get your body paint, please contact Samantha. She will hook you up. She'll even, travel if she needs to,
I
or
do special effects
any
makeup,
special
whatever you need.
effects.
I make costumes. I do design. If you wanted a cosplay outfit airbrushed or something sewn, I do that.
Maybe if you want to look something special for New Year's Eve,
Yeah. I'll hook you
please,
up.
yeah, she will hook you up for sure. Samantha, thank you so very, very much.
Oh,
I guess since you already celebrated Christmas, I guess the only thing left to say is Happy New Year to you. Uh, so yeah, have a Happy New Year, Samantha, and keep in touch.
Happy holidays, Kenny. Santa baby is coming to see you down the chimney tonight. All right. Thank you. Bye.
I need to make that as a sound clip.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
I would.
Santa baby, I'm coming down the chimney tonight. All right. I've been an awful good girl, Santa baby. I'm coming down the chimney tonight. Right?
I think you had a Marilyn Monroe moment for a moment.
I did, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I could get a happy birthday too, but I think you should get on to your next special guest.
Yeah. We'll say that Marilyn Monroe moment when my birthday gets here in June.
There you go.
So,
There you go.
you have a great night, Samantha.